the previous audio, we talked about moral purity, concentration, and organized thinking from chapter 5. And now we'll get into even deeper layers: how to think deeply, originally, meditatively, and creatively, he says. Swamiji begins with this bold truth that most of us do not know what's right thinking. Shallow thinking is the default for the masses. Deep thinking, it's rare. It's a fruit of intense sadhana, that is, spiritual practice across many janmas, which is births. Only then does the mind evolve enough to think deeply and independently and even profoundly. If you are called to Vedanta, you must know that this path is not merely devotional. It is razor's edge of manan. That's relentless reflection. And it demands hard thinking, persistent thinking, and clear thinking. Thinking that goes into the roots of the problems. We did talk about this in the previous audio. To the very fundamentals, the foundations, to the presuppositions of all thoughts and all beings. This is what he calls Vedantic sadhana. He warns, rather, I mentioned this in the previous audio as well, that if you're not ready to face the consequences of your conclusions, if you cannot swallow the truths that your intellect reveals, even if they shatter your identity, even if they lead to ego death, to put it in simple words, then leave philosophy, he says, take up bhakti. That's devotion. But we did talk about the balance of both in the previous audio as well. So I recommend you go and maybe listen to that reflection. Because true philosophy, he says, asks everything of you. It's not academic, but more like a fire. Now let's talk about this refinement of thinking into meditation. Thought, when properly channeled, becomes this great force. It's vital to know how to use this force in its highest and most impactful way. And this happens through dhyan, which is meditation. He explains that applied thinking applies the mind to an object, and sustained thinking keeps it continuously engaged. When these two are present, they give rise to rapture, which is inner joy, bliss, and collectedness of mind. These are several signs that non distraction has been achieved. And when all of these and mental one pointedness are present, true meditation arises. So always remember that meditation is not simply silence, it is refined and intensified thought, very focused thought, a thought that burns bright, very steady and pure. Observe even your meditation next time. Observe the observer as well. Witness the witnesser of that object, the meditator of that object. Now comes this crown jewel of this chapter. He says that thought is a vital living force and the most vital, subtle, and irresistible force that exists in the universe. He says thought is action, it's movement, it's energy, it's substance, and it has form, shape, color, quality, weight, and power. So, thoughts are not just internal sounds, they are living things, he says. They move and they shape reality. We've talked about this previously as well. A thought of joy can spark joy in another. So, use this truth responsibly. The birth of a novel thought, when it is positive, uplifted, and conscious, becomes a creative force. That's how we become co creators in this cosmic play. So, if you want to find your purpose, start with finding the nature of your thoughts. I think that is where his teachings are taking us. Because I think personally, we can find absolutely no joy in doing something which is not aligned with who we truly are. Until and unless I think we are not singing our soul song, we can never be happy. No matter how much we earn, no matter what we are doing, no matter how respected that is, it doesn't matter. What matters is happiness, and true happiness always comes when we are in alignment with what we are here to do, or to be rather. I truly believe that your soul's purpose cannot be revealed to you until and unless you are aware of yourself. And being aware of your thoughts is the first step on that ladder to be aware of yourself. Self with the capital S, your higher self. And eventually, integrating that higher self with the worldly self, with the physical self, and operating from that divine energy through and through. Anyway, let's recap this really fast. He says moral purity gives rise to truthful and very powerful thought. Concentration gathers and sharpens the rays of the mind. Organized thinking brings clarity and intensity. Deep thinking purifies and strengthens mental force. Meditation stabilizes and sanctifies your thought. Creative thought transforms the reality itself. This, Swamiji says, is the secret of the sages. This is how one becomes a master of their destiny, not by magic, but by mastering thought, the first cause. So ask yourself, are your thoughts shallow or deep? Are your thoughts random or luminous? Are you willing to face your own truth, however terrifying or liberating? If the answer is yes, then begin today. Practice vichar, manan, japa, pranayam, maun, brahmacharya, and dhyan. I have translated all of them previously. Reduce your wants, cut the noise, sit with your mind like maybe an architect building a house or a sculptor shaping a stone. The power is always within you. Develop it, not in theory, but in living thought. So until next time, please keep your thoughts sacred, your silence very, very intentional, and your mind like a sword, full of insights and clarity.